In civil litigation, a complaint riddled with vague allegations is a calculated tactical ambush. The defense cannot logically answer a claim they cannot comprehend. To dismantle this ambiguity, defense counsel relies on Rule 12, the Bill of Particulars. It acts as a surgical tool to force precision. This mechanism must be deployed before the joinder of issues, ensuring no party is forced into a trial by guesswork. To understand how this operates in practice, we will conduct a strict chronological forensic audit of Rule 12, running from Section 1 through Section 6. We will isolate precise mechanical steps, the strict 2019 amendment timelines, and procedural intersections where examinees falter. Mastering Rule 12 separates those who merely guess at legal combat from those who control the procedural battlefield. We begin with Section 1, which dictates when the motion is applied for and its purpose. The defining stricture here is timing. A party must file the motion before responding to the defective pleading. The 2019 amended rules explicitly tighten this window. If the pleading in need of clarification is a reply, the motion must strictly be filed within 10 calendar days from its service. To execute this properly, use the mnemonic BDPD. Before responding, point out the defects, isolate the paragraphs where they live, and state the specific details desired. However, there is a hard limit. Remember the acronym NED, no evidentiary details. The motion cannot be used to supply material allegations missing from the original claim or to change the cause of action entirely. This marks a critical distinction, the boundary between a bill of particulars and modes of discovery. Rule 12 exclusively targets ultimate facts, the baseline assertions needed to properly frame an answer. If the objective is to secure evidentiary facts for trial, discovery procedures must be utilized instead. Once the motion is filed, we move to Section 2, Action by the Court. Recall the sequence with the mnemonic CIDGH. The clerk immediately brings the motion to court, which may deny or grant it outright, or call a hearing. This imposes a specific mandate on court personnel. The clerk of court cannot let this sit in the docket. They must act immediately to place it on the judge's desk. The judge is then vested with absolute discretion to resolve the issue entirely ex parte, or to allow the parties to be heard. This represents a procedural anomaly. Unlike ordinary motions that sit waiting for a scheduled Friday hearing, a motion for Bill of Particulars triggers an instant triage mechanism. Do not assume an oral argument is required. The court can validate or reject the claim of vagueness on the spot. Together, Sections 1 and 2 operate as a rapid response system. They cure ambiguity immediately while preventing the defense from weaponizing the motion to stall the litigation. If the judge agrees the pleading is vague, we enter Section 3, Compliance with the Order. The erring party faces a strict deadline. Compliance must be effected within 10 calendar days from notice of the order. Using the mnemonic 10ASC, the pleader has 10 days to file either a separate document, the Bill of Particulars, or an amended pleading. This 10-day rule applies unless the court explicitly fixes a different period, based on the complexity of the required details. Compliance also requires execution. The clarifying document must be formally served on the adverse party. An informal letter or oral clarification will not suffice. Failure to meet this deadline triggers Section 4, Effect of Noncompliance. The court's response is governed by the SPO framework. Strike the pleading, strike specific portions, or issue other just orders. The primary coercive sanction is structural amputation. The court will order the striking out of the entire ambiguous pleading, or slice away the unclarified portions. If outright striking is deemed too severe, the judge retains the equitable flexibility to make such other orders as are just. The legal effect here is specific. The act of striking an allegation under Rule 12 differs from an automatic dismissal with prejudice. Removing a vital paragraph might subsequently leave the plaintiff without a complete cause of action, leading to a later dismissal. But the immediate direct action under Section 4 is limited to the strike. Sections 3 and 4 arm the court with the enforcement teeth required to command clarity. A request for details rapidly escalates into a fatal ultimatum, while the plaintiff scrambles to clarify their claims. Section 5 protects the defendant, the stay of period to file a responsive pleading. This pauses the regulamentary clock. A defendant cannot be declared in default for failing to answer while a legitimate request for clarification is pending. The timeline is governed by the balance of period rule. Once the bill is served or the motion is denied, The moving party gets the exact remaining balance of the time they originally had. However, the rules provide an absolute safety net. The remaining period shall not be less than 5 calendar days in any event. Consider a common scenario. A defendant receives a complaint and files a motion on day 14 of their standard 15-day period. Mathematically, they have 1 day left. Legally, that single day is overridden. The 5-day absolute floor activates. Once the answer is finally ready to be filed, we look to Section 6, Bill a part of pleading. Governed by the BOP rule, the bill is one with the pleading. The original vague complaint and the bill of particulars physically and legally merge. This merger carries a heavy evidentiary implication. Any factual statements or admissions made inside the bill of particulars are officially considered judicial admissions under Rule 129. A common mistake is treating the bill as an independent exhibit that must be formally offered during trial. It is not. The two documents operate as a single unit and must be read and constructed together by the judge. Section 5 ensures the defendant's clock is mathematically protected, while Section 6 locks in the clarified facts, freezing the procedural battlefield in preparation for trial. Stepping back to view the architecture of Rule 12, we can see the full journey of a challenged pleading. Rule 12 stands as the ultimate procedural gatekeeper, forcing a pleader to commit their ultimate facts to the record. It achieves this through speed and consequence. It leverages swift judicial triage in Section 2, strict 10-day deadlines in Section 3, and the looming threat of striking out entire claims in Section 4. At the same time, it maintains equilibrium, guaranteeing a 5-day minimum safety net for the defense under Section 5 to ensure a single clarified record under Section 6. For practitioners and students alike, precision is the priority. Respect the strict calendar day timelines, and never deploy Rule 12 to fish for evidentiary details. By isolating the ultimate facts before trial begins, Rule 12 enforces the strict boundary between the initial pleading and the eventual proof.